We came through here and broke ground for this wonderful racetrack, and they built a doozy. Here in Texas. So much fun to watch these trucks hit the banks here. We got more banking in 3 and 4, Jamie, than we do in 1 and 2. So when you come off turn 4, you're hauling down the front straightaway. And by the way, there's a major tailwind down the front. So we're going to see some action down in turn 1 and 2. It's going to be very difficult, but it's going to be a lot of fun for us to watch.
I can't believe you just mentioned it. 30 years of Texas Motor Speedway. This is the 52nd Truck Series race coming up tonight. As you see practice and qualifying straight ahead, 1 50-minute practice session for all trucks. They'll have a quick timeout to flip things over. Ready for qualifying. It's 1 round, 1 lap in the fastest.
In the race, it's just a great atmosphere for racing, and Carson Hosa was probably the perfect guy to take the checkered flag with that atmosphere, with his attitude and the fun that he loves to have.
You certainly see everything at Talladega. I think you got it all on your grid walk last week as well. You had the grandma that was rooting for. I think she liked Carson. She liked the younger drivers, was hoping they'd get a win. As you see Carson Hosbar waiting his turn to go out for this session. Let's take a look back at last Sunday.
Just a real tight battle at the front. There wasn't a whole lot of passing. There's drivers trying to figure out how to get things done and use
as well. You had the grandma that was rooting for. I think she liked Carson. She liked the younger drivers, was hoping they'd get a win. As you see Carson Hosbar waiting his turn to go out for this session. Let's take a look back at last Sunday.
just a real tight battle at the front. There wasn't a whole lot of passing. There's drivers trying to figure out how to get things done, and you see it always gets hectic coming to the checkered. But Carson just drove every lap perfectly toward the end of that race, positioned himself in a way that drivers could not get around him, and was able to stand there and have a victory celebration in Alabama.
I don't know what was more exciting, watching that last lap of him driving to the win, or the post-race celebration, Caitlin.
No kidding, what a celebration that was. Carson, what's the week been like for you since getting that big win in Talladega?
It's been a lot of fun. I haven't got a chance to breathe. I didn't
There's not an abundance of grip here at Texas Motor Speedway. I was talking to some of the bar, very.
Kyle up there ahead of the 7.
That's Caden Honeycutt's radio. He's third quick, but on top of the board, it's Kyle Busch over 182 miles per hour here.
Just straighten it out a little bit, get to the bottom at the same time you are. And then you could use a little more.
No limits, Texas.
A little too much on that one lap where we obviously a little tight there.
Yeah, 10-4. You're saying just like don't pitch it down off the corner so hard is what you're saying? Use more exit?
Especially in 2. 3 and 4 is pretty close to the best. Through 2 you can start coming off the bottom and just round your exit off a little bit more, so not wrap quite as long.
10-4.
And then there was a group on the back, but half of them didn't. So pretty spread out. Next truck's at 52, restart zone now. Can, but they don't want us using any tools. You got your tool fix there.
By 1, square, climbing, by half, outside, leave a lane here, leave a lane, outside. 1 more, after the 11 you'll be all clear, by half, outside the 11, all clear. Straighter entry. 41. Now Ron, let me think here a second.
Set it up, okay? Yep, 40 minutes.
Middle 3-4. Lane throw onto your right. Try to beat the 14 if we can. There's the 14. Line now. Chandler into 3. Chandler into 3. Chandler's off of 4. We can go behind Chandler if you want to clean your air up. It's up to you. Got cars leaving off pit road now. Chandler's at the line now. Into 1 at speed. You got guys at speed on the apron behind you as well. Middle 1 and 2, Chandler. Chandler off of 2 now. Whatever you need. Whatever you need here. Chandler middle back. Chandler middle back. Chandler middle back.
Alright, I got you. Crack's pretty busy. We'll just have to blend you up. You can just roll the bottom with the truck ahead. Go ahead. Is the BJ in the water? You feel like we can arc any more next? Yeah, we'll see what he does behind the 45 here. I mean, we're close. Like the 45, I mean, he's running fucking in it. Yeah, that's rolls for you. Clear left. Two more. You'll have a full straightaway here. All clear.
I get to the bottom like kind of soon, and it kind of like pushes me off the bottom a little bit.
It's out there in that brand new truck and puts that kind of time up on the board, and that just makes a statement to the rest of the competitors.
Kyle Busch owns about 20 of those cowboy hats, 20 wins coming here across 3 different series.
Can you imagine that? Come to one racetrack, one of the coolest racetracks in all of NASCAR, and win 20 times?
He's got quite a few racetracks, double-digit wins.
There is, and this cat here will have something to say about what Kyle Busch is able to get done tonight. But look at his lap time so far, just down in 15th position. That was his first lap, though. We've seen the fastest laps from all the competitors run up around lap 8 or 9.
Yeah, I kind of slowed up because there's like.
So we should see Hostvar just consistently get faster and faster up into the top 5 on his second lap there.
That was middle of the Texas line. I was pretty conservative on it the first shot because I know we were trying to feel it out, but I'll keep it there and we'll try it again.
This was 2023. Last lap, I believe, a little controversy.
Well, there was a lot of contact there, a lot of guys bouncing off of one another, and I think Carson just said, I'm not lifting, and I see clear track ahead, and he made his way to victory lane, and that's how he's raced since he showed up. And Talladega, I think it was kind of fun for me to watch as a fan of NASCAR. He just got it done the old-fashioned way at Talladega. He just made every right move. He was very aggressive, but just put himself in a position to where he was perfect at the end.
I saw it said perfectly about Carson Hocevar. He's a huge race fan that happens to be very good behind the wheel. And he just exudes love and passion for the sport, which is why you see him in a truck here. He wants to run the truck series. He wants to win here. Sets him up for Sunday. Trying to get his second win in a row.
Got some new guys at the top of the scoring pylon. Look at Ty Majeski hopping up there, and also Lane Riggs after serving that penalty. Fast trucks.
Yeah,
this is going to be a fun day, Jamie. We're not going to know who's going to be the favorite for this race until this session is all wound up. Maybe we can break it down and see who we think.
Love to watch the scoring pylon. It keeps shifting as we look at the number 1 of Brandon Jones. Haven't seen him in the truck series here since Pocono last year. Of course, he's a full-time driver in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
And a couple of Fords for the diehards at home that love truck racing. We haven't seen Fords to victory lane on a mile and a half in a couple of years. And so the fact that they're up front in this session shows that they brought some really good trucks to this track.
Door. Still there. Clear. All clear. All right, see what you got clear here now.
2 prior starts here last year, he was busy. We talked about the highlights. I mean, he's spinning and he's back up and running, passing trucks, spinning again.
Look at that lane, though. Look at that line that Lane ran there. He was able just to pin it right down on that white line. I think that's really going to be key. If you can make your truck stick right on that white line, like he's doing right there, that's just precision driving, pinning it down there and keeping it down there as long as you can.
Gio Ruggiero, the 17. He had a tough go of it here a year ago, Michael. He was a rookie. He said, I was caught slipping. I was looking behind me, and he clipped the grass in the infield and just destroyed the racetrack.
That's something we're going to have. We saw that in the highlight of Hocevar's win. That's something we're going to have to keep our eye on because, you know, you look at these trucks and how boxy that cab is. When you're sucked up right behind another truck, you can't see where you're headed. If that truck's just right on the edge of going into the grass and you try to duck below him, you're going to hit it. And we've seen that make some major damage to these trucks.
3 top 5 finishes for Gio Ruggiero already this season, including last race at Bristol.
Well, he's really fast here too. Good average on the longer run. And we saw Gio a part of the story last week at Talladega in the ARCA race. What a show that was, huh?
Your driver control's good. Yeah, I got on the dash. The needle on this tack is not working. It says RPM disabled. The lights are working, just not the needle.
It sure was. This guy doesn't sit still very well. We have an off weekend, and he goes racing at Kansas in the ARCA race. And Chandler Smith. Talked to him in the garage, and I asked him, you know, he's been with the team now, Michael, a year and a half. I said, so how do you line up with your teammate, Lane Riggs? How close are you guys working together? He said, we work very well together, but we couldn't be more polar opposite in driving what we want out of a truck and the way that our crew chiefs approach things.
Look at this. This is a great view. I love getting on board and watching the driver work the wheel. I talked about the precision, the preciseness needed to wrap the bottom, keep that truck right on the white line. And when you're behind another truck, that just hurts that situation. Makes your nose want to push up. But you can see him just trying to work every so slightly the moves of the steering wheel.
Yeah, we're just
to keep it low. I talked about the lack of banking down there. You heard him way out of the gas.
Back out better as I ran.
And just hammering the gas through 3 and 4. Just 4 degrees of banking, 24 and 3 and 4, 20 and 1 and 2. 4 degrees, and it makes that much difference.
No pressure. It's the SpeedyCash.com 250 tonight. He's rocking the Speedy Cash colors. We'll see if he can jump up to the top right now.
When congestion has you feeling off, turn on new Afrin
this is 38 with you.
I'm coming this time.
Coming to you by half, looking inside, he's there. Just him. All clear.
Should be all good right there. He's still 10 back.
How much you feel like you need to evaluate it, and if we need something different, come to me. Okay. Obviously, got a
This guy just hit a save.
like 70-ish to start, then use that to like 80, 90.
From the previous.
But you're initially tight and then get free, correct?
Correct. Starting about the 1/3 mark, it's really, every time it does it, like I'm never just turning right. I'm always turning left first.
Copy that. And then let's pull 30 off the left front and just pull it off all together.
43 on the last one.
I thought it helped initially, Eddie, but it just like, as soon as I get down there, I just cannot keep the front going to finish the exit. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if there's anything you can see up top.
I mean, I put the binoculars on you in the middle of 1 and 2, and I mean, you can see it start getting shady on you, like the nose is lazy. Like it doesn't look awful, it just looks like you are just lacking a ton of speed in the middle of 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4.
Off this guy in front of you.
Self? Inside.
Fire.
Copy. If I go get in clean air here and like it, do you want to make another stop or do you want me to find dirty air?
Really both times, but getting a lot of porpoise in the left front through 3 and 4. Like it's hitting the splitter all the way through the washboards and then loose landing into 1.
Well, in my opinion, that is the perfect breakdown of a driver. Not only did he work in a beautiful mammal, a porpoise, which means the truck was bouncing up and down, but then he also added sound effect. That's just a beautiful thing. And you know what? His season has been a bit of a porpoise as well. Look at the up and down results he's had. It's just unexplainable. A guy this talented, that just tells you how tough the truck series is. How you can just bounce up and down and not seemingly understand exactly how it could be that way because he's so good.
Well, we haven't hit the streak of short tracks yet. We know that's when he turns up the heat, right about July or so. Totally expect Ty Majeski to do that again. Of course, he has a different look this year, but the same team.
Makes me want to say hi to our friend Matt Crafton.
Yeah.
Veteran of this series, a guy that we miss.
I wonder if we'll see him behind the wheel anytime. I've heard some rumors that he might come back for a race.
Oh, that's cool. Majeski, you talk about Texas and how fast he is here. He's had top 10s in his last 4 races, so real consistent and good here.
This was the fastest man in qualifying last year. Tyler Ankrum led the field to green. Let's get an update on him. Caitlin.
Yeah, Jamie had a chance to talk with Tyler earlier, and he said the season so far has just been very average for them. But he did tell me that they are bringing a package this weekend that he's never run at this racetrack in the past. He said it's something similar to what we ran at Darlington, and we are hoping that it will translate. But so far, listening to the radio, he doesn't seem too happy with that 18 truck. Take a listen.
The nose is just bouncing on entry, and like the nose cuts, like I turn the wheel and the truck kind of turns, then it cuts really hard. Now I have too much wheel in it, so I got to take wheel out. Now I don't have enough wheel in it, so now it's tight in the center, and I'm loose. Like I've just got so much going on right now.
Yeah, that explains why he's just 20th fastest on the scoring pylon. He doesn't like a lot of things that truck's doing. And he says about the average start of the season, he's outside of the top 10 in points. And I think was looking forward to coming back to Texas because last year here he had a top 5 run. Talked about how fast he was in qualifying, and so this was a good track for him. This team needs something good to happen to get on a roll.
Ankrum's on his 3rd run. Did first run 7 laps, second run 7 laps. You want to try to get a longer run here, Michael, and if you're coming in and pitting, obviously he's got his hands full. They're working on it, throwing some changes at it to see if anything moves the needle at this point.
William Sawalich has made his way onto the track.
And he made his way into victory lane.
Yes, he did.
A few weeks ago.
That was fun to watch, to see how that young man was finally able to, I say finally, he's just a teenager, but able to get it done in the O'Reilly Series.
A lot of first-time winners lately. We had all 3 races at Talladega last weekend, first-time winners. Saw Andy Jankowiak getting it done in ARCA. Then on Saturday, Corey Day found his way to victory lane and said, I would have lost the bet all day if you told me my first win was going to be on a super speedway instead of a short track, which is right in his wheelhouse.
I saw him Sunday morning at Talladega, and he was still all smiles talking about getting the job done. Jason Kelsey was on his pit crew. Is that
it was so cool?
Is that crazy or what?
And then he talked about it on the brothers podcast that they have about, he's like, you know, I'm 100% when it comes to being on a pit crew. I show up and they win their first race.
Let me promise you one thing. If you're an elite athlete in any sport in the world and you come to NASCAR and you experience what it takes to go to victory lane down there on pit road, the athletes that change the tires, jack the thing up, make the calls about how you're going to go about things, strategy. If you see that firsthand as a member of a team, you will never look at NASCAR the same again. Stephen A. Smith, if he knew everything it took to get things done in this sport, from the driver to the team owner to those athletes down on pit road, you cannot imagine everything that goes into it. And I'm so glad that Kelsey was able to experience, because I know he's walking around shaking his head after that experience.
You could tell how much fun it was and how seriously he took it, Michael. He actually went to the shop, practiced a couple times during the week with the pit crew. He had to pick up, he was like the gas can handoff guy. He said, I did it perfectly. And he was the signboard guy. He said, but the nerves just to stop that car just right. That was fun to watch.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun to see him get to experience it. Parker Kligerman in one of our Ram trucks so far in this session. Corey LaJoie has the fastest Ram. He's 13th. The rest of the guys are struggling a bit. Still trying to learn these trucks and what it takes to be fast and competitive. Setting right alongside of him there. Another beautiful Ram truck.
Ty Majeski, top of the board here. Lane Riggs, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Caden Honeycutt, your top 5.
Try this. We just trade your track bar for left rear rubber here. Let's see what that does. Pull those right side fans, please.
Look like he just kind of backed off. I'm off at 2 a little bit, but now it just looks like we're tight.
Like, okay, it's not going to be very good in clean air, but it'll be really good in the pack, hopefully.
For adjustment.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, we got 21 minutes left, so I feel like you got 7 minutes worth of play time right now because you're going to want to cool it down for your mock, right?
Yes, we'll cool it down.
If we can just try to shut down with 14 minutes left, you got plenty of time to do your mock run.
Okay, yeah, and it'll only be one lap, too, so...
Yeah, you'll have absolutely plenty of time. We could even go to 10 minutes if we had to.
Same deal on the front stretch, 2 by 1.5, and he's got room by 7.
At Dover.
That's a commitment.
I was going to say.
I mean,
the hardest one.
He couldn't have picked a worse track to come back at. I mean, that's what it's all about. Going to Dover and just seeing how brave you are. And we're going to find out real quick.
That's in 2 weeks from now. And then Jamie McMurray, Father's Day weekend, will be at the base in San Diego. Looking forward to seeing McMurray. Something tells me McMurray is going to be just fine.
17 years since he's been behind the wheel of the truck. How about that?
Or gotten a new hairdo.
His hair is exactly where it needs to be.
It is. Are we going to see you in this truck at any point this year?
Well, you know, the last time I drove a truck, I went to Victory Lane, so I'm like walk-off stuff, you know?
I like that.
But I wouldn't mind running one if I can find, I like a slower track. Dover would be my last pick, and I listened to Jamie McMurray, and he said something that I thought was awesome. He said, I am terrified. And that's, you know, that's how tough this is, and that's how committed you have to be, and you know how hard it's going to be competitive, and that's all these guys ask to be is competitive.
Yeah. Well, I love that Colleague Racing, Chris Rice, Ram, that they're giving these guys an opportunity because it's a fun storyline. It's great to have those guys out there give us their feedback. Of course, we'll check in with them throughout their race and see how it's going. As we take a look at Daniel Hemrick, he had a great run here last year, Michael, and I think he could use another one of those.
Tony Breidinger there in the 27, just ahead of him. Yeah, it's been a tough start to the season, certainly for Daniel Hemrick, outside the top 10 in points, but here a year ago, second, like you talked about, so he likes this place. He needs a great run in that Napa truck.
For those McAnally Hilgeman Racing trucks here on track, we heard Caitlin talk about Tyler Ankrum, total out of the box approach, trying something different here, just trying to find that speed. Well, Lane Riggs so far, second quick, Caitlin.
Yeah, and I had a chance to talk with Lane and that team earlier, and Jamie, you discussed the fact that he's struggled at Texas in the past, but maybe this is the weekend where they turn things around. Just checked in with Drew Blickensderfer with Front Row, and he said he's a one loose, but really happy. He feels like he has tons of grip in that 34 truck. They did make a rear change to try and give him a little more security for the 34.
So they're quick, and they're working in the right direction.
Whoa.
This is a race a year ago. Lane Riggs, you see him clip that grass.
Just
that was a story.
Yeah, just like we talked about earlier. And look at the damage it did to that truck. Just totally obliterates the front end and finishes his evening. But you get that run and you just want to peek down to the bottom a little bit. And a lot of times there just isn't any room down there.
William Sawalich up high. As Lane Riggs works his way around. So 18.5 minutes remain here in this practice session. Just a reminder, qualifying is coming up next. That'll set the lineup for tonight's race, coming up on FS1 at 7 Eastern. 8 Eastern, 7 local.
Ross Chastain so far fastest in the 5 and 10 lap averages. Stretched on out to 20 laps. And Caden Honeycutt is the man. So a lot of different data points that these crew chiefs and engineers are looking at. And those that I just mentioned are some of them that are key to some of the decisions they will make after this practice session. Grant Enfinger currently 19th in this session. So sure, he's trying to figure out what he can do to make that number 9 truck better. He's run 27 laps. I talked about the most. That's Stuart Friesen has run 40, so he's got the most. But Caden Honeycutt right behind him with 39 laps. And this is the guy that I'm sure everybody's got their eye on over because of what I said, fastest 10-lap average. That's Ross Chastain.
Chastain 4th quick overall.
There's those averages after 10 laps you see on the bottom there. What a week it's been for Ross, huh?
It has. What an honor for him.
Yes.
You know, he won the Coke 600 in huge fashion last year on Memorial Day weekend. And this was this week. He was able to visit the tomb of the unknown soldier. Went there with team owner Justin Marks, his crew chief. The things that you are given privilege to as a race car driver, it's not taken lightly.
Yeah, I was blessed to be able to do that a couple of years ago. Charlotte Motor Speedway, Greg Walter, all the folks with the Charlotte Motor Speedway. What an honor it is being a part of the celebration of our country next week, and those who gave it all.
Great opportunity to thank all of those who served.
When congestion has you feeling off, turn on new after.
You're good right there. 10-4.
You're good with mocking up here, right? Okay, and then we'll talk about it. I'm going to put those changes back. Your last run, you went from the weird front end to actually crossing it over to a little bit free. And then that whole run there, you were just tight. Was it the whole truck or just plowing with the front end?
Mainly with the front end, but if you did lower the splitter any.
That makes sense.
Who had 3 refires, but he refired on the same lap on tires, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. I don't think our truck's bad. We just need to get the front end turning a little better. Our truck's a lot better this year than last year.
2963, that is currently P6. I feel like as I turn left, I start sliding earlier.
Congratulations again, and good luck to you this weekend with everything.
At less from 12 to 11 to 10, as I get over that way on the clock, it slides quicker.
And far, I'll put that toe back and then try pulling a rubber out of the left rear.
That far out of the gas, we need to bring it in. But if it's just them, you know.
Yeah, copy. This gets so aero tight behind somebody over there. He just PJ'd that lap. And then this will have a little bit more gap.
He's down into 1. 1 more to come by. There you go. Perfect. Right here. Good. And you can probably zip on by this guy.
Looks a little perplexed about what's going on. Not a lot of speed from the 50 truck. Those guys got a lot of work to do to figure things out.
Meanwhile, Kyle Busch, third on the board. Busch making his third start of the season. He's turned 39 laps and counting, Caitlin.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch obviously so well versed and familiar with the race vehicles here on the truck side and giving some very detailed feedback on the handling of that 7 car to Brian Patty. Here's the radio.
It fired off and it was turning better with the front. The back not quite keeping up, kind of like 2 runs ago. And now that it's got tire heat back in it again, it's just washing the front worse in 1 and 2, and then the back isn't quite as stuck exit of 4. So nothing there was like, oh yeah, great.
Nothing he loved about that change is basically the breakdown, and the tires have started to fall off too. We see lap times being about a second off of their best earlier, so that's something that Kyle, the veteran he is, understands is a part of the equation. And you could see him throwing his hand out the window down the back straightaway. That was a full-blown run to pit road. Just in case we have a green flag pit stop, he wanted to see how hard he could get to the entrance of pit road. So that's something these drivers will sprinkle in as well. Looks like maybe a qualifying run here, perhaps. You see sticker tires getting ready to be added to this number 7.
You see the sticker on the right side there. Often you hear us mention sticker tires. They're brand new, fresh. Put them on there with that sticker on it.
Whereas when Ernie Irvin showed up, he called them labels. Nobody knew what he was talking about. So, can I get a set of labels? Like, okay, what's that mean? Ernie came over from California, so they had a little different way of stating things. Wonder what Butterbean's thinking.
Butterbean did a great job last weekend trying out the booth. He was up there with the boys for the Arkham and Art Series race, and he was interviewing Cletus. Celebrating Cletus, too. It was They're great. Buddies, and Butterbean and I got to go down to Florida and run in Cletus's 2.4-hour Le Mullets race. So they become buddies, and I think everybody just is really thankful and appreciative that Cletus has shown up here and just appreciates what we do every week and wants to be a part of it. Getting to run more and more races these days. Well, he keeps things light and fun. You know, it's so easy in this business of racing to get serious, Michael, and look at the business side and think of all the negatives or ways that you can be better. And then you get somebody like Cletus who just comes in and you remember why you're here. But you can turn that off and on. And I think that's what some people get confused about. Well, he's not serious about it. Well, yes, he is. And that's something that I think that is really important. You have people sitting in the stands, or you want people to buy your products no matter what's on the side of your truck. You want to have fun. Make sure you enjoy what you do. And then when you get behind the wheel, go beat them in the head as hard as you can with your talent. That's exactly what Travis Pastrana was in Supercross when he came on the scene. People were like, is this guy for real? He would back it up on track, but he was happy-go-lucky, and he made everybody better. He made his sponsors happy, and that was just who he was. He was very authentic, and he still is. And those two are friends. They found each other. Well, Butterbean's a lot the same way. You can be both, and I hope people appreciate that. As we take a look at Tanner Gray there in the 15 truck, another guy that had a good run here a year ago and needs a good run here, as you see him really closing down on the 19 truck of Hemrick.
Even quarter, all clear.
I think Tanner has to be pretty happy with this truck. As I look over his averages, it looks solid with everything we see. So good practice session for this team. 25 laps for Tanner Gray, 12th quick overall. There's Brian Patty talking to Kyle Busch. That's a dynamic duo there, right? Brian's had a lot of success here. Kyle's the winningest driver everywhere we go, every track we go to. I think there's a lot of mutual respect between these two as well. And speaking of crew chiefs, Kyle Busch has a new crew chief on Sunday starting this weekend. Andy Street takes over for Jim Pullman. See if that could help change something. I don't know what you can change overnight or in a week, Michael, but they're certainly trying to get Kyle Busch back up front where we're used to seeing him run. Chandler Smith here in this 38 truck, 9th fastest on the pylon, but he's second. He's one of the few drivers that has stretched it out to more than 20 laps consecutively. Caden Honeycutt is fastest in that category, and right on his heels is this 38 truck of Chandler Smith. So good session. That's what you're looking for. When the session's over and you look at that, you say, we can hang with them tonight. We have something to run right up front with, as you see.
One or two more.
One or two more the crew chief's asking for from Chandler. And there's the best consecutive 20 laps. Those two have over a quarter of a second on the third fastest guy, so that tells you how fast they are. So Chandler Smith feeling good about what they have so far. You have to really like your truck to run them that many laps consecutively, and that's what we're seeing here with Chandler. Runs it out here. It's been quite a season for Chandler Smith. Of course, kicked things off in a huge way by winning at Daytona. Had a little hiccup in the middle. They got disqualified from a race, but he's bounced back, and he's the point leader again by just a mere 1 point over Caden Honeycutt. There's Ty Majeski. Nobody's been able to knock him off. 29.49 was the fastest in practice.
So we'll see how it all shakes out if he can hang on. There's 7 minutes remaining in this session. Qualifying is just around the corner from Texas Motor Speedway.
About 3 minutes. You can grab the line so easy. Empty.
Send it to John. I don't have my phone.
Copy. Temperatures. I don't want you to overrun it, wreck it. What do you think there? Yeah, I need to go deeper. Yeah, copy that. Watch the 91, there's nothing out back. Checking up front. Yeah, I'd like to go back to baseline rear. I just want to try track bar to feel it.
I want to run 2 rounds on the right rear.
Yep, come up to with the track bar too. Tonight during the race, do you feel comfortable enough to make a little qualifying run?
A block run right now?
Yeah. Or do you want some more laps? Getting the right rear up, all that, like something is making the left front and the front end die out worse, and like the left rear just lump the ride. However, when I gas up or try to carry speed, I just like left rear goes through the right front. Try and get some of that out of it. It's just my biggest hindrance, and when I start lifting there in 3 and 4, it's the same thing. More speed I carry, the more I induce that.
Okay, 10-4, about 30 more seconds of fans here, guys. 30 more. I know it's hot tires, I'll just give you a feel back to back. Just everybody has a heads up, it'll be quick turn here, quick turn. We're going to get everything cooled down and ready for qualifying after this.
Teammates hit on any of the adjustments that we talked about before.
Sorry.
Person surely dearly missed.
Such a big part of the truck series.
Showed up from Washington State. Nobody knew who he was except for Benny Parsons and Jack Roush. And he said, "This is who I am." And he went to winning races.
Won 9 races in a season. A record that held until last year when Corey Heim surpassed him, and then Biff posted that picture, had a beer in his hand on the beach, and congratulated Corey Heim on breaking that long-standing record.
Well, before, I think there's been a few qualifying runs like I talked about earlier, and before Grant Enfinger hopped up into the 3rd spot, Jamie, the top 5 trucks were all Fords. So late runs have gotten the Fords up there, telling folks it might have been since 2046 races, but we're here to play tonight.
Thor Sport all on the same page. All 4 of their drivers went out there for mock qualifying runs, all in the top 5 now. Jake Garcia with the fastest run, even Cole Butcher right there needs to get those laps. This is all new to him.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential, a lot of upside, and just shows that he knows how to find speed, going 5th quick here late in this session.
Makes things interesting, Michael, as we get ready to switch things over to qualifying. Kyle Busch, we saw him park it, the team working on his truck. Quite a few truckers have come in already and called it quits on this session, but not Christian Eckes.
This is his coming to the checkered flag lap. He took the green. See if he can pick up some speed here in the 91 truck. No, just another lap for him, so probably not a qualifying run. Columbia Bank on that 91 truck. That team desperately needs performance, and they need it now. They haven't performed up to the level that we expected when the season started.
Had a good run at Bristol. I feel like that was the first time that we really saw the full potential of Christian Eckes, and we saw what happened with him. Got into the back of Corey Heim at the end of the race. Here's a look back at it just like that.
Great work, Rich Gross. We got all this stuff right on cue. When you say it, Jamie, it's going to show up on the screen.
It's a team effort here. What a disaster this was at the end of the Bristol race 2 weeks ago.
Talk about McAnally Hilgeman in this 91 truck. You see the big crash at Bristol. Those guys were just arguing over space, Heim and Eckes, and it's been over a year since this organization has gone to victory lane. So I'm sure Christian is learning driving right now late in this session. That's why he's still out there. Hadn't been able to find what he's looking for. You don't see him showing up on any of the long run speeds, top speeds. So just continuing to work away.
Chris Wright, another teammate for McAnally Hilgeman Racing.
I think that was a qualifying run for Chris. It was his fastest lap, and he went 19th quick on that little sprint. 81 truck, that's a good looking ride. America's Auto Auction. Chris is in order to help this organization get better.
Justin Haley, one of the 5 Ram trucks in the field full-time this season. He's one of our 4 former winners here at Texas.
I'm a little bit surprised at this point in the season we haven't seen more speed from the Rams. I know they got off to a slower start, but we've been to enough tracks now to where the notebook's kind of building, and they have talented racers behind the wheel. A talented group leading this organization with Colleague, and just haven't been able to find what they're looking for in these trucks. Haley's makes a qualifying run there, I believe, and only 26th fastest. The fastest Ram in this session is Butterbean Queen in 17th, just ahead of Corey LaJoy. And you see the yellow lights there. That means this is official.
Practice is in the books now. All the truckers will come down. They'll make the switch over to qualifying, and we will let them roll. In the meantime, Jake Garcia right at the end goes to the top of the board. We'll be back.
Tires.
Tape it off. We'll make a chassis adjustment to the back, and then I'll make a shock adjustment real quick. So it should be an 8 off left, 3/16 on right. Yeah, 10-4.
Texas. Wendy.
for qualifying here.
Can we take more out? Yeah.
Tigers Rangers. That's tomorrow at 7 Eastern, only on Fox.
Shohei, that's a show, isn't it?
Or is it going to be showtime for Kyle Busch?
I see.
He knows how to get it done here.
Segue there.
20-time winner here, Michael. He has been winning here many, many, many years.
He has to have a room just for his cowboy hats.
No kidding. 4 Cup Series wins, 10 in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and 6 right here. He's won his last 4 starts at Texas.
Caitlin, tell him all this good stuff we're talking. I mean, this is crazy what he's done here.
I was telling him, and I told him to watch that to reflect back on his success here at Texas. What stands out to you when you look back?
Yes, a lot of really, really good memory. I would say the Radcliffe era here in the Xfinity Series, nationwide Xfinity Series, was pretty bomb. That was a lot, 6 in a row, maybe 7, I can't remember, but okay, Unc. I'm gonna get hell now, but anyways, yeah, it's been great history here for me, and I love coming here. It's always been a fun place, you know. Maybe not so much since the repave, but I have one here on the repave, so obviously look forward to getting back to doing that here again today with our Hendrick.com Silverado and HendrickCars.com Silverado. And yeah, the truck was pretty good, so feel like Brian Patty and the group has a good tune in it, and looking forward to seeing what happens tonight.
So what are the challenges of Texas Motor Speedway? Obviously, you're very good here, but it is a tough place.
Grip in 1 and 2. Obviously, the flatter end of the racetrack, that's where you have to lift or get out of the gas if you don't have the grip that you need. 3 and 4, you can hold it wide open pretty much down there. So trying to make the grip happen down in 1 and 2 in order to make that lap time faster. So that's where we lack a little bit right now compared to some of the better trucks, but still feel like there's good top 5 speed in it. So nighttime comes, maybe a little cooler, change a little bit of air pressure, and let her rip.
Thanks for your time, and good luck to you.
Thanks. Kyle Busch with a funny. He says 6'7". Brexton's going to be so embarrassed.
That is so 2025. We don't
so
do that
right.
anymore.
You're right. All right, we better get to break.
Into bar backer. 4 rounds out of the left rear. 2 rounds out of the right rear. Track bar, fuel. Track bar down 7. Let me make sure I'm fuel. Even fuel. Backer near that bar will get it.
7 to 8 season.
Somebody can come over the wall and tape this shit too, tape the grill and all that shit.
For the race, need that to go down. When I pulled the seatbelt tight, it stuck me down a bit more. So I just need to tilt it down a tiny bit.
It should be right at the back, because we're making adjustments. I don't know why anybody would walk away with it.
All weekend long, and it's supposed to be beautiful weather Saturday and Sunday.
And this place, the infield is already packed. We're going to celebrate Andy's 40th anniversary tomorrow with some racing in the O'Reilly Series of trucks tonight. We're going to qualify them out. I'm telling you, Jamie, I'm having a good weekend. I love coming to Texas.
Me too. So who's your pick here for qualifying? What do you think?
I love predicting, and I predict Lane Riggs.
Okay.
Gets the pole.
Okay.
I liked what I saw in practice. He was fast right off the bat. I don't think many adjustments probably to the truck. Let's see what Caitlin thinks about that pick. Caitlin?
Yeah, Michael, so he just picked you to earn the pole here in Texas, Mr. Waltrip did. So what say you after the practice session of that 34?
I don't know about the pole, Michael. I think we got really good race pace, though, so I'm excited about that. But, no, just great to be here in Texas. This place hasn't been great to me in the past. I feel like it owes me a little bit. So glad to have Aaron's rent to own on the truck. My Ford F-150, I'm really happy with it today. We made a lot of improvements from last year, just really trying to work in the Ford Racing Simulator to get better at some of these tracks. But overall, the team's done a great job. I feel like we've been really able to just kind of go through everything these past 3 weeks and get ahead of the curve. And we've actually had our trucks done a couple weeks before the race for once. Usually we're thrashing last minute to get them at the racetrack. So the break's definitely good for us in these truck teams.
Did you guys identify the mile-and-a-half program was an area that needed to improve for this team?
I feel so. I feel like our short track and road course program's always been well. We've been good at the mile-and-a-half, but we've never had a dominant mile-and-a-half truck ever. So I feel like we just really started to focus on that, figure out what we're missing, and I feel like this is one of those, really all the mile-and-a-halves, the teams have a lot of discrepancy in setups when you go to these places. You say some guys have a lot of straightaway speed, some have more handling, so it's just trying to get that middle ground feel that I feel like we need to be in, that I feel like we've kind of missed for all these years. But yeah, excited to be here. This track's a lot of fun. Everybody likes Texas, seeing the stockyards and seeing all the people around here, so cool to travel down here.
He's got his whole family with him here this weekend as well, Jamie.
Jamie, did you hear what he said, all these years? Does that make you feel old when a kid like that says, after all these years?
No kidding. Celebrating 30 years at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's see what Lane Riggs has qualifying. It's coming up.
Copy.
Beautiful.
Mind you on your click on the back stretch. 30 seconds now. 3 and 3/30 seconds left rear side skirt.
You don't need to double check them or anything?
Side. Try to pick up our area a little bit so we're not slacking anything here.
The probability is always going to even out when we run up front. The finishes will come, so just got to stick with the program.
Good luck to you. Ty Majeski feeling pretty confident so far here in Texas.
Don't you like that engineering brain? The probabilities will increase when the performance is there.
He's all business.
Breaking it right down, isn't he?
Yes, he sure is.
We're lining up and getting ready to go qualifying. We heard the challenges this track presents with Kyle Busch telling us 1 and 2. We talked about this earlier, being flatter, looking for grip down there, and just wide open through 3 and 4. And I think this is kind of funny, Jamie. You go through 3 and 4. Coming to get the green, you're going to run wide open. You know that. You're building all the speed you can. You got the wind pushing you down the front straightaway. And when you do all those things, you get to turn 1, and where'd all the grip go? That's where the challenges are. So it could be a fun session.
A lot for these drivers to think about, especially for Tony Breidinger, making her first start this year, and she's first up.
She had a competitive run. I was looking at her time. She had a competitive run during that session. So she should be able to put together a pretty good lap. There she is in that 27.
Yeah, 32 laps in practice. So there's a slight holdup. This little guy has been tormenting us. He's been out on the track. They were chasing him around, just trying to get him out to a safe place, and then he dodged him left and right.
Isn't he cute?
He's very cute.
Our biggest law.
Look at him. He just can't find a way out. So safety personnel just trying to get him to an opening, and he's looking for Buc-ee's. It's right across the street.
You know, the squirrel is thinking, I've been doing this every day and nobody cares. Why all of a sudden there's so much? Why is there so much attention about my prancing around? Look at this facility. I talked about that infield. Andy's Custard anniversary, worth $400 on Sunday, the 30th anniversary. This is just a wonderful sports complex. I'm so proud we're here.
You talked about the packed infield. So many fans already here, ready to make a weekend of it. Look at this guy, the only one crossing the finish line right now.
It's Saturday, and you're...
Yeah, 10-4. This is kind of comical chasing this squirrel here. Yeah, we're watching it.
I'm Route Texas.
He's just toying with him at this point.
I think he's heading in a good direction.
All right, Caitlin. I know the drivers are eagerly awaiting. Let's hear from Caden Honeycutt, who had a good session.
Yeah, well, while we're here under squirrel delay, catching up with Caden, who grew up coming to Texas Motor Speedway. Michael, you were talking about that.
Good.
So what are your memories of coming here to Texas?
Yeah, I remember back in 09, the COT cars, I set up in turn 1, and remember watching my favorite race car driver, Jeff Gordon, back in the day, watch and turn laps and win a lot of races here at Texas Motor Speedway. So really happy I got to practice for once. I didn't get to practice last year, and I tried to make the race a couple years ago and only made like 2 laps. So really good day. I feel like our Tricon number 11 safe flight, as Foster Love Toyota, was really good. So really comfortable, a lot more confident now than I was last year, and got some laps and understand the racetrack a little bit more. And I think today is going to be a good day for us, and hopefully we can put this blue scheme in victory lane today for the kids.
This is a 1.5 mile racetrack, but it has a lot of unique nuances to it. What are the difficulties of Texas?
Yeah, I think, with the high speeds, the wind, if it does pick up, can change up a little bit if you're handling. And we kind of felt that in practice. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that had some moments in practice, but yeah, it's always treacherous running around here. We're so fast, and it looks a little bit more grayed out, but I don't think it's actually lost much grip at all. So it's kind of the way Wilkesboro is, Rockingham, and those tracks is loose color, but they don't fall off or anything like that. So yeah, but I feel like our handling is really good. They were obviously really fast last year, Corey, so I don't think today's any different. I think we'll have a really good day today. So thanks to Scott and everyone on my crew that does an amazing job every week to give me trucks like this every time.
Thank you for your time. So far, feeling good in the 11 camp. Jamie?
Yeah, the Foster Love Safe Flight Foundation baby blue colors look nice on Caden Honeycutt. And I believe we've been given the all clear. Yes, we have. Safety crews are finished with squirrel duty. It's time now to get to qualifying. Tony Breidinger making her first start of the season. From Hillsborough, California.
That's got to be tough, this track. You heard Caden talk about the challenges and the grip and the difference in the ends for her making her first start. Thankfully, she got that practice session, and like I said, looked really competitive. Knows she needs to run through 1 and 2. Has to be a little bit gingerly down there, but you got to run through 3 and 4 twice. You got to get through there coming to the green as fast as you can, and then obviously during the time lap. Good line right there. Look how low she is. That's great.
Second truck for Rackley War.
She had ran a 30 flat basically in practice.
Distance all the way to the line off of 4.
Coaching from the spotter all the way to the line right there. Picks it up 2/10 over her practice session.
Just a reminder, it's 1 lap, 1 round.
And just to give you an idea, Jamie, that's only about 6, 7 tenths off of the fastest time of everyone here. That's how close and how competitive these trucks are.
Looks like we've got a problem for Caleb Costner in the 93 there. So the 22 at Josh Ryome, you see them pushing him around.
The good thing for Caleb Costner is there's only 35 trucks here, so everyone will start this race. Not a great session for Caleb. We talked about the fact that he had to be set on the side for 25 minutes. Oh, there he goes.
He got it.
Couldn't get it cranked, but he's fired up now. Let's see if he can go out there and match the pickup or the speed. He needs to be up on the track here.
Interesting paint scheme. The truck looks dirty.
Well, that's probably the plan, because is that camo? Is that camo colors on that thing?
Yeah.
Or maybe, what'd be a good sponsor for a truck that looks dirty? A car wash. Get this thing cleaned up after this race. Anyway, Caleb should have went up on the track and wound that engine up, because how you get to the green flag is as important as how you get back to the checker. I mean, you have to have all that momentum getting to the start line in order to be able to hit your speed that you're after. Real tree on the back of that truck. Got some great sponsors on the number 93. A little bit high there in 1 and 2, then higher than he would want to be, ideally. Like you said, though, didn't get a lot of practice, so still probably trying to figure this truck out. Gets to race tonight. A lot of time to do just that.
Yeah. First start here at Texas. So a lot of new things. I'm sure he's one of the many drivers that were very happy we actually got practice in today. So second of 2 trucks with a 32.11. It's a good point, Michael, how important. Good point, Michael, how important that is to get up on that track and get to 11. It's a good point, Michael, how important that is to get up on that track and get wound up.
You got to leave pit road like your hair's on fire. I mean, you. Brexton ever running at Talladega, and Brexton saying, "Oh, I can't wait." Isn't that just the way it works? Frankie with a solid wheel on the hand on the wheel there. I told you Tony had a decent truck in practice. She's been able to turn. Frankie with a solid wheel on the hand on the wheel there. I told you Tony had a decent truck in practice. She's been able to turn everyone away so far.
Frankie third of 4 trucks. We're going to go right through them.
Clayton's practice was cut short due to penalties, but when you have a truck like we saw Josh jump out there with, your team does a good job. It's not that big of a penalty. If you're going to win the race, you certainly got to have practice, I think.
1 of 3 Texas natives in the field. It's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Marble Falls, Texas.
Love when I would get to go back to Kentucky or near my roots in Tennessee and be able to run races in front of the hometown fans. Always a highlight for me. Clayton with a 30.24. Good lap there, about a half second off of what Tony was able to run.
Connor Jones making his second start of the season. Finished 18th in his only Texas start just 2 years ago.
Connor was up inside the top 15 in his practice session, so we'll start to see now the kind of lap times it's going to take to maybe crack the top 10. Great turn there. It looked really good through 1 and 2. I liked his line. There again, see that left front right down. That's exactly the attitude you're looking for. I'm doing a comprehensive breakdown on this lap for you.
I like it. 1 of 3 Nice Motorsports trucks in the field. Connor runs the cars tour to the top. 29.45 for the 20-year-old from Virginia.
Cole Butcher in this 13, he hopped up in the top 5 late in that practice session with his mock qualifying run. See what he's able to do for real here. You see down on the bottom of the screen, he's quicker. Oh, he's loose. He was hanging that thing out, wasn't he?
He was. Hang on to it. The team said we just have to finish all the laps here. No more wrecked trucks. It's the only way to learn. You got to finish all the laps.
You got to figure if you can make it through 1 and 2 half sideways, when you get down to 3 and 4 with that banking, it's going to hold you and you can just leave it right on the mat.
To the top for Butcher.
That's the fastest.
29.22. Had no idea what you said.
We weren't listening either. That's the fastest lap of the day. So that's faster than anyone has gone for Cole Butcher. So it's giving everybody something to shoot at here.
So what you're saying, loose is fast.
It is, especially when you hang on to it like Cole did. That was cool looking.
Spencer Boyd. 3 top 15 finishes here at Texas. We decided that was a tequila company on that truck, right?
Yeah. That must be a branch, flower, tree or something. Isn't tequila made from a tree?
A bush.
Yeah. Plant.
We like them.
It's plant-based.
And fifth for Spencer Boyd.
Chris Wright from Wexford, Pennsylvania.
McAnally Hilgeman trucks didn't have a whole lot of speed in that practice session.
Well, everybody knows, and I think that's really cool. You know, Cole Butcher hadn't had the year he's looked for, but he went out there early in this. Now everybody knows what you got to do. The track will hold. I think we're going to see some of those faster trucks get down into the 28s. That's going to be what it's through 3 and 4, lost a lot of time in 1 and 2. And I think if you look at what, as we compare Cole to the other trucks through 1 and 2, the way he was hanging out through that corner. And the speed he had down there, it'll be fun to see.
So they're all chasing Cole Butcher so far after 9 trucks. Hey, who's that guy? He's a TV guy. Oh, yeah. He's pretty good behind the wheel, too. That's
Fired off, please. Yeah, I was just gonna go down the ask, but I don't know. I don't think Joe's up here, and I didn't hear what he said. It shows he was wide open, but I don't trust it. It sounded like he was wide open. Alternator off. Alternator off. Yep. First and second hatch. 1 and 2 there. Copy.
Are you going to be able to relay information if teammates are wide open or what their throttle trace might be, 1 and 2?
Yes, sir. That is the point.
Broke even with them still, so.
On the back.
Practice.
Arrow, you know what I mean? Schulich said they said he just rolled out just a little bit.
He top 20'd in that practice session. He was, most of that session, the fastest rail. So we'll see what he has in qualifying. Can he duck it right down to the bottom in turns 1 and 2? Gets it right down there. Nice line. You can see Butcher just a little bit better, but not a great deal. Good corner there by Corey. See if he's able to match any of the pace that Cole had in 3 and 4.
On my second set of dash line.
10-4.
As was a good lap.
Third for Corey LaJoie. A lot of cup experience around this place, but never in a truck. This guy, he's got a lot of experience in a truck around here.
Look at that. Got a pole here. Had a decent session earlier today.
And then 3 and 4. Exit 3 and 4. It's not fun when you hit it qualifying.
I don't really know what it's worth because you're not up there while you're running, right? It might make the track a little bit longer, but...
Third fastest in that session, so potential.
Definitely closer
basically, so it's
to the provisional pole so far.
What are they doing on 1 and 2 on the launch?
Going above like the second seam, not to the wall.
Through 3 and 4, that's by plan, I assume. Trying to give it a little bit more room to get wound up. To take the green with the most momentum possible in that 11 truck, and he's
same, splitting the white dotted line. 1 lane up. All right, we got what we got, bud. We'll be, I don't know. If we stay in the top 15, I think we'll be lucky. But we do that coming here, so we'll race good.
Through 3 and 4, giving himself more room, more arc to come to the green with as much speed as possible. This is where we were really impressed with Butcher, just to the entry and center of 1 and 2 because of the fact that he was hung out. He was free, but that meant he was fast. And you can see how it paid off on the exit for him.
A little bit more speed overall, maybe a little less dragginess overall.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
Brandon was outside of the top 20 in the practice session.
That seam here, great.
Looking for speed.
I agree with that.
And 5th for the Tricon Garage driver, Brandon Jones.
I do too. Good job.
Comes another one of them Rams.
Parker Kligerman saw what he was doing, making a little ram horns with his fingers. Excited for this opportunity.
Good start to the lap for the 25.
They all start out so close to Butcher, and then he just pulls away. Just a great lap.
It's got to be fun for the young racer out of Canada, Cole Butcher, to sit there on his pit box and watch these other drivers give it all they got, but can't quite match his pace. That's got to be a good feeling.
Kligerman 6th after his one fast lap. Here's his teammate, 14, a Mini Tyrell.
Kind of what we talked about before, little potential thing.
From Manassas, Virginia.
You had it in the front end.
What a fun kid this is. I just love his energy. It's what I love about what we get to do, Jamie. We see these guys come into the truck series for their first chances to run on these big tracks in the NASCAR world. Just their energy and excitement, it feels good to be a part of it.
He won the Race for the Seat show that was on FS1 with Ram and Colleague Racing, and he won it. And now this is all new to him. Every single week it's something new from Mini Tyrell and the Ram organization.
29.96 for Mini, and that's about a half second off of what Parker Kligerman was able to run, the experience of Parker. I was impressed with this truck in practice. Tanner Gray, thought they had a great session. See if he can back it up here in qualifying.
It's been a great place for him. Here in Kansas, I feel like have been Tanner's best tracks. 4 top 10s. There he goes, starting out.
3 and 4 on his out lap.
All over Cole Butcher.
Right there, that's a good corner. Talk about the top 5s. He was 5th here last year, so needs that kind of run tonight.
Tanner's had 3 top 5 starts this year.
That's going to be second.
Not bad.
29-29.
10-4. I mean, you're
already wide
open, right? So
Andres Perez.
Andres picked up his speed late in that session. Had a good run.
Yeah, maybe.
A
but we're
good
already wide open on the bottom, so.
qualifying attempt, practice qualifying.
The driver from Mexico City. It's interesting for him, Michael. He has this rotating door of teammates each week. I mean, you get a Ross Chastain, and then you get a Connor Jones, and he's got them both this weekend. So somebody to really lean on, and then somebody there, just another set of eyes and ears to see where you guys are, what you need. As you see where he falls off to the 13 of Butcher.
I tightened it up with
Perez 5th.
Good run.
Yeah.
This truck was really, really good. And you see he's even higher yet coming to the green. I think that's interesting, having the confidence that even though he hadn't really been up there, he's trusting that the grip will be there for him for Majeski to take the green flag with all the momentum in the world.
Ty was on pole at Daytona, but he hasn't had one since. What did he say in that interview? Seemed like he was
consistent.
Consistent.
Right where he needed to be, but not quite there yet. And you can see not a great qualifying run for him compared to Butcher. See where that stocks in. Thought we'd have a lot more speed out of Majeski, but 9th so far. That's surprising.
Yeah, so Ty Majeski 9th. Cole Butcher on top, 29-22 is the time to beat. There he is, a rookie. The Craftsman Truck Series, so far so good today.
Yeah, probably right above the, let me count here. It'll be above the second hash, not all the way up, like in between the second and third hash. Through 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, same thing. In between the split and the 2 white hash marks, second, third.
Yeah, copy. Yeah, I saw there in 3 and 4. I did my last outing there in 3 and 4. Come to fill it out. I felt okay, but didn't know about the 1 and 2 there. Copy that. Says the left above top of the left above second set of hashes.
Yep, 10-4. I'll let you know exactly what the 34 has been doing or does here when he goes out. He's 2 in front of you.
Yep, copy. I feel like a rookie. Like I've ever qualified a truck here. I haven't actually.
Always due for something.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane, okay? Next time, let me have it, okay?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I'm not used to the spotter being on for qualified.
And his up to speed wasn't anything fancy. Some guys are starting to run like split the first hash marks, trying to get up to speed, and the 13's still driving away from him into 1. All the way again. He's above the 3rd lane. He's the highest one I've seen so far. Each left side's above that 3rd hash mark.
All the way to the exit?
Yep, carried it the whole way.
Copy that.
I don't know what he planned on doing if he talked about it, but I feel like these guys that are going all the way to the wall into 1, like on their warm-up lap, it's blowing up so much shit. Like Ty did it, and I don't think it was worth it at all. Big wide arc. Well, no, like the arc was fine. I mean, on the warm-up lap.
Do you think you forget to put fuel in that thing?
Very confident about tonight.
Yes.
See what he can. Does that thing sound weird?
It sounds weird.
Something happened. Well, he was right.
Well, he said Texas has not been good to him. Hasn't finished a race here yet, and can barely even get up to speed, and something's wrong.
Yeah.
So we don't have to fill them up. So like if they're
That
pushing
sounded like
an that hard,
an engine issue of some sort, whether it's electrical or a valve train issue. Something definitely wrong under the hood of the Aaron's rent-to-own Ford.
So caution is out now. They'll take a look, make sure there's no fluid on the track from Lane Riggs.
Down to the end right here.
I think it's out of gas, John.
See what conversation maybe we can hear what Lane thinks happened. You remember where he started at St. Pete?
He was in the back.
Yeah, way like outside the top 25 and was able to win. That's we'll have to remind him of that after this.
Yeah.
This problem. They might have to.
That's where he'll be.
Something serious.
He'll be starting in the back. Maybe some work to do here. Really interesting what happened. I'm sure his teammate Chandler Smith, who goes out last, they're wanting to know what the heck is happening to make sure they don't have the same thing going on.
Well, very rarely does anything go wrong under the hood of these things, so that was something that.
Let's see when he was getting up to speed here, Michael, if you see anything.
No, he just running high. You can see a little bit of dust blowing up there. That's because he went where no man had been before, and that certainly didn't have anything to do with the issue under the hood. Stuart Friesen, the next to go. Challenging session for Friesen earlier, so he wants to make sure there isn't any oil on the track.
But making a whole lot.
Well, we've talked about the fastest guy here so far, Cole Butcher. Let's hear from him, Caitlin.
Yeah, and talking with Cole earlier, you seemed pretty unsure about how all this was going to go coming here for the first time. Are you surprised by the lap you put down?
Yes and no. Honestly, when I got on the track, it kind of felt just like our Ford Sim back home in Mooresville, so I was pretty confident in myself. We were a little bit tight in practice, but all my ThorSport guys made this Ford F-150 pretty good. So see what happens here. The next couple of guys go, but I'm pretty confident in our lap.
So a lot of these racetracks we go to, you're seeing them for the first time. Obviously, what's the learning curve been like for you coming over to the Truck Series?
It's just, as you said it, I mean, super late model race, and I can test as many times as I want, but when we go truck race and show up and race, but it's fun. It's why we're professionals, right? And really no excuses at this level. So it's just fun. It's a challenge, but I love it.
Nice job so far this season, and he's holding that top spot as of right now, Jamie.
Yeah, good to hear from him. That's what this Truck Series is all about, Michael, showing the new faces.
Yeah.
They come from everywhere, living the dream, and right now he's hanging on, hoping that it stays there and he can get his first pole.
Truck safety team out there checking out everything, making sure we're a go. Make sure there's no fluid on the road. Before they were chasing a squirrel, now they're just inspecting. Versatile track safety team we have here in Texas.
I'm just glad we're not dodging weather like we all thought all week long. Friday just looked like a washout, and it hasn't been an issue today. We got all practice in, qualifying as you see the Lane Riggs machine being pushed back to the garage. We'll try to get that diagnosed, get an update for you.
Fans out in the infield having a cold beer.
A little chillier today than it's expected to be in the next couple of days. Things are going to heat up.
Sunny in the 70s.
Somebody said that
everybody enjoying their
for the beginning of qualifying.
time in Texas. You hear Stuart Friesen firing up his engine.
Wow.
We saw a shot of Friesen, looked a little perplexed, as you said, Michael, trying to figure out where that speed was. He was 29th.
That's got to get on your nerves. The veteran that he is, a win here.
Yeah.
He knows he can get it done behind the wheel. Why haven't we brought a truck here that I have speed in? It's got to be confusing. Sometimes you wonder about, you know, the construction, the aerodynamics, how you're missing the templates here and there like you need to in order to have the proper downforce and drag situation. See if he can rebound here in this qualifying lap. Put all that worrying behind Stuart Friesen.
And his sister truck had an issue first lap out in practice, Corey Roper, so they won't be turning a lap. They're working on that truck.
Stuart's right with him. That's the closest we've seen anyone to Cole Butcher. He's going to be at least second or third.
And you're right, third for Stuart Friesen. Well, let's hear from Lane Riggs. Does he have any idea what happened, Caitlin?
Yeah, we're back here in the garage area. What were you experiencing in the 34 just then?
My foot was to the flow, and she didn't want to go. So I don't know. Hopefully we figure out what's wrong with the engine here. But yeah, just lost power. So pretty unfortunate. I feel like we had a really good shot at the pole here. We did a lot of work, like I said, at the 1.5 miles, but we've also really tried to do better at qualifying, especially these places. So kind of bummed out. We'll see how Chandler ends up here in comparison to us to see what we could have done. But yeah, we'll get the Aaron's Dream Machine to the front. I'm not worried about it.
Thanks for your time.
I'm not worried about him getting to the front either. We've seen him do it time and time again. All the engines under the hood of these trucks are supplied by the same provider. So very rarely do we ever see an engine issue. We do occasionally see some electrical engine issues, so maybe it's just something that they can fix by looking at that situation.
Take a look at Justin Haley here. Daniel Hemrick was on track just before that, and he clocked in at 29:40. That's good enough for 6th right now.
A good run for Daniel.
Yes, it was. Qualifying hasn't been their strength this year.
Right side just under the hash mark.
That's one thing that's probably extra frustrating to teams at times when they know they have the same power under the hood as everyone else and people just consistently outrun them. What are they doing differently? First of all, you think about who's driving it and how are they able to get more speed out of their truck? But then secondarily, what is our bodies like? What are our setups like? How come we're off?
Working on it. We'll try to make it better.
Justin Haley 12th as he wraps up his run. Tyler Ankrum up next. He had his hands full in practice, Michael. Had all kinds of things happening.
But it's all behind him now. Try to put down a solid lap. And the thing that I love about qualifying, Jamie, is we're going to find out who's the fastest for one lap. But Lane Riggs can win this race. He's going to start last. We know it can be done from anywhere. But you certainly want to start up front if you can.
And he'll put on a show doing it. It's that carrot dangling, except he'll have about 33 other carrots dangling in front of him to get him up there.
Solid run here for Tyler. Should go top 10. He was 6th after that run. 6th fastest is about 0.2 of a second off of 1st, so it tells you how tight things are.
William Sawalich, his best truck finish of 6th, making his 2nd start of 2026. He won at Rockingham a couple of races ago in the O'Reilly Series. Had been knocking on the door, and he finally got it done.
It was fun seeing everybody back at the Rock, wasn't it?
Sure was. An off weekend for Cup, so the Superstars were the Truck Series and the O'Reilly Series.
Not a great lap here for
normal 1 and 2.
William.
Normal entry to 3, and then you can just kind of shortcut the exit to 4 a little bit. Middle of the racetrack.
Slot in 13th so far.
Dawson Sutton had a great race 2 weeks ago at Bristol.
And look where he started.
Deep in the field.
He had an issue right off the bat getting into the outside wall in practice, and then was able to fight his way up to the top 10. Really, really great run at Bristol. You know, we talk about starting in the back for Lane Riggs. This track, there's plenty of room to pass. Bristol is a bit of a different story. You start in the back there and make your way to the front. That's quite the accomplishment, quite the statement by not only Dawson Sutton, but this team to say, we've got trucks we can win with. I had to feel really good.
Yeah, ended up 7th at Bristol. Want to carry that momentum forward, see where he shakes out here in his qualifying effort. And
14th so far. Another one of those beautiful Ram trucks.
Butterbean.
Doing everything he needs to do, running that higher line, coming to the green. He'll duck it right to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Listen to his gas. Sounded pretty solid. And look at the pace too. That was a really, really good corner for Butterbean.
Dragging the track a little bit, Michael?
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Yeah, top 10 so far. I thought that might be about the fastest ram, and that's exactly what Butterbean was. Good lap.
Michael, you talk about the balance, the attitude of the truck, and that left front being on the ground. You want to be as close and sealed off, right?
Yeah, and you don't mind some skimming, and that's what that was. We heard Majeski earlier doing the sound effects of the porpoising and skimming across the track. That's what you want. You want to be just right there at it. If you hit something, ooh, look at that corner there.
This was my pick for the pole here, Michael, a teammate to Cole Butcher.
What a great turn. That's the first time we've seen anyone match the pace of Butcher, and look, he's going to do it.
Ben Rhodes to the line and to the top.
There it is. Good call, Jamie.
29:17 now, the time to beat.
Don't need too much arc. I wouldn't be any higher than like the dash
8 trucks still to go.
And a bunch of superstars, including the most recent winner in the NASCAR Cup Series, Carson Hocevar. He says, follow me.
That was wide open.
He took that big old trophy to Chili's.
He did, and took about 80 people with him.
Yes, he did. What a
They said they were at Chili's at 1 in the morning and serving up good food and having good times.
Great moment. One that we'll remember, Michael. That celebration was quite something. Had us all holding our breath at times.
He did great.
He really did. Carson Hocevar.
7th quick so far.
38, and you'll go behind everything, looks like.
Jake Garcia.
They always have country music artists on the back of this truck. You see Dylan Scott there riding along on the Quanta truck with Jake, and Jake's got a nice start to this lap.
He's a teammate to the two that are first and second right now, and he's a two-time pole sitter this year already.
And they're
he
tied.
is all over Ben Rhodes on that ghost truck.
That's beautiful. Man, if you're the team owner of this organization, you prepare two trucks that close, that's got to feel great.
Duke Thorson's watching somewhere right now. Loving what he's seeing. It looks like the 99 maybe just inched ahead. Jake Garcia second.
How long's it been since a Ford won here?
A long, long time.
And we got 3 of them in the top 3 so far.
26 years.
26 years ago when a Ford went to victory lane. This guy here will have something to say about all that.
He was feeling good about it. You could always tell in Kyle's attitude and his response in an interview if he's feeling good about his truck and his chances.
Look at that line. Just doesn't swing all the way out to the outside wall because he had everything he needed just to run a shorter distance. Looks like he's going to line up right behind those Fords.
On coast, 139.
And he does. Kyle Busch 5th with a 29:30. It's the 91 of Christian Eckes. Eckes started on the front row at Bristol.
Then 1 and 2 coming off.
See what kind of speed he has here. His teammates down there in 10th and 11th.
I like this truck in practice. I like this consistency. I saw some things that I felt really were going to make him be able to be up front come race time tonight. We'll see how that goes.
The speeds here, Michael. And they don't fluctuate much going through the corner.
A lot of times those drivers, when they come off turn 2, will just stare at that tachometer. Just see if there's any more RPM that they're getting out of it than what they saw in practice.
Saw Eckes 10th quick as we take a look at Gio Ruggiero.
Yep. I like this kid. He's been a lot of fun to watch. Show that he can get it done in the Truck Series.
He's all business.
Yeah.
You know, he has started in the top 10 every race this year. Tricon Garage doing a great job. They bring great trucks, good-looking trucks every week.
He's going to do it again, Jamie, because we know it's just flat out through 3 and 4. Got a good line right down on the bottom.
Gosh, just a couple of feet difference all over him. Good enough.
All right, 29,
the top
21.
5, third for Gio Ruggiero. Just 2 to go here.
I'm enjoying this qualifying session. Some of the names up front. See what Ross can do with these Fords and that lone Toyota up front. Can he put his Chevy up in the middle of that?
Just a reminder, the 62 of Corey Roper was supposed to go in this slot, but he got into the wall in practice, so they're working on that. They'll start in the back.
He was kind of getting to the bottom as we were.
He'll start back there with Lane Riggs. Be a good guy to watch go to the front.
Yeah.
That's what his team's telling him. Just follow Lane. He's got a dog on the back of his truck. Hunt that dog.
The Aaron's dream dog, the lucky dog.
Another guy that's going to start outside the top 20. Ross Chastain slots in
38, still got to run.
22nd.
And he won't be there long. And there was one.
He's going to be 23rd, isn't he, Jamie?
He is. Chandler Smith, point leader, race winner at Daytona. Teammate truck to Lane Riggs.
Able to gain just a little, maybe, off turn 2.
See his cool box hose flying around. Don't need to have that hooked up.
Go race later.
For this one quick lap. Not quite close enough.
Looks like he's going to be able to start inside the top 10.
And he will roll off 8th, and that means the 29-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
Ben Rhodes gets it done, his 7th career pole. His first pole this season. Brings a smile to his face.
The 29-year-old veteran of the Truck Series is going to roll off from the pole in Texas alongside Jake Garcia.
Caitlin, they did their homework. They had those mock runs in practice, and it paid off. Let's hear from the pole sitter.
Yeah, Jamie, it certainly did. All smiles for Ben Rhodes. How's this get your race weekend set off on the right tone?
Oh, excellent, excellent. This is a tough place, treacherous, I think is what we talked about earlier today. It's treacherous, and dirty air is such a big problem here. So to be on the front row, ThorSport front row, that's awesome. TYM F-150 was just driving great in practice today and really good in our qualifying run and our mock run. So I think we've got a really good solid piece. You know, it does well behind people. It does well with raw speed. So the big thing is just holding on to that clean air now and leading as many laps as we can.
You had a crew chief change a couple of weeks ago. How do you feel like the team is really starting to come together now, though?
Yeah, I think we are coming together. The last race, this race right now so far, practice qualifying, I think is helping to prove that. The first 2 starts that we had together were a little rough. Not 100% of our doing, but, you know, nonetheless, we had to kind of find our stride and find what works for us. And he's trying to just give me really comfortable F-150s to drive, and then at that point, I just try to drive them as hard as I can.
Thanks for your time. Good luck tonight. Ben Rhodes will lead the field of green for tonight's truck race. Jamie?
Yes, ThorSport Racing's 4th pole this season. And the 6th front row sweep for ThorSport, 2nd time this season. A lot of speed they brought, Michael.
Beautiful thing coming to Texas and setting it on the pole. You heard Ben talk about keeping that track position, but literally, Jamie, I think you can win from anywhere. Caden Honeycutt back there on row 5. He's from Texas, I can tell, and he's going to be somebody you're going to have to beat tonight.
I like what you did there. Carson Hocevar is somebody to watch for sure. Couple of Joneses back there.
Ty Majeski kind of inexplicably outside the top 10 or so. We thought he'd be right up front. Minnie Terrell. Some of these guys looking for some speed. Look at that. Ross Chastain, another guy we think will charge to the front.
And we talked about Lane Riggs. He had his troubles. They're going to work on that, but he'll be starting in the rear. Well, let's hear from the guys starting outside front row. Caitlin?
Well, the good qualifying efforts continue for Jake Garcia and company. How have you guys been able to just really figure out qualifying?
Yeah, you know, I think it's just all about the details and just figuring out all the little things that add up, because obviously the field was really tight today. You know, I felt like we kind of executed. I'm not sure. We'll have to go back and look and see where we lost that little bit. But, yeah, it's a good starting spot. Really important to start up front in these races and maintain track position. So, yeah, really proud of my guys for giving me a fast truck. And, you know, hopefully we can get this Quantum Services F-150 in victory lane later tonight.
How would you rate your program as a whole at this point in the season, where you and your team are at right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we've been decent at some races. We were pretty good at Bristol. I think Darlington we were pretty fast. But, you know, just a couple wrecks and, you know, there's things not going our way. Has kind of hurt us in the points, but you know, I think the potential is there to run really good and run inside the top 5 every week. So, you know, just need to make sure we do everything right like we need to do. And, you know, I think if we keep bringing fast trucks to the racetrack, we can run up front.
Thank you, Jake. He's made a lot of gains in those points over the last couple of weeks, Jamie.
Yeah, Michael, they showed this tremendous speed. It makes you wonder, is tonight the night to break this streak? It's been 31 races since ThorSport went to victory lane. They've got some good horses ready to roll. We'll hear from more drivers and set the field. Eastern. Practice qualifying is in the books, and what a front row we have. Excited for Ben Rhodes. See if they can turn there. They've had some bad luck, to see if tonight can be the night he can get back to his winning ways.
Yeah, he's led a lot of laps this year, which means he's got a lot of speed, and that's what it's all about. But if you're tuning in tonight, the thing that I can't wait to watch, which I will be watching so closely, is Lane Riggs charging from the back. We saw Ross Chastain also not exactly get a great qualifying lap in. So there's a lot of stories about guys who qualified in the back that are going to be coming to the front. And it's so hard to pick a favorite because things are so tight. We heard the drivers discuss how close things are up front. Just one little slip can make a difference, 6, 8, 10 spots. And so we're going to see a lot of racing tonight going on in all over this racetrack. I think they'll run high and low. It's going to be a really fun night.
You set the field perfectly, but Kyle Busch is in the field, man, on a mission. He's won here 20 times. He's going to be hard to beat. And then you have Carson Hocevar, who has just had an incredible week, the best week of his life.
Yeah, and you know what I love? Caden Honeycutt from right here in Texas. He doesn't care about all these. He wants to beat everybody. He knows that truck he's in won here a year ago. He wants to prove that he can get it done anywhere as well. So many great stories from Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar to our trucking regulars.
Yes, then you have Cole Butcher, right, the rookie. He wants to mix it up, starting third today. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Friday. We're going to have just a few hours, turn things around. We'll fire up the trucks, and we will drop the green flag. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern as we watch Ben Rhodes take the green flag and lead the field to green. We'll see you from Texas for all of us here at Fox Sports. I'm Jamie Little.